Jaxon Smith-Njigba, as you mentioned, only played 3 games last year. Hamstring injury, had 5 receptions. The year before, he led that team that included Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Marvin Harrison Jr. in receptions. And C.J. Stroud and Garrett Wilson told us at the Super Bowl when we spoke to them on set that they both thought he was the best receiver on that team back in 2021. And we finally got to see him in person at the Ohio State Pro Day last week. He did the drills at the Combine, but he didn't run. He ran last week as well. On the field, there were some unofficial times from scouts at 4.50, 4.52. I think the official came in at 4.48. Either way, as you said at the time, Rick, fast enough. And the way he ran the 40, the catching he did on C.J. Stroud's Pro Day, and the short area quickness drills that he did at the Combine, all are arrows pointing up for you on Jaxon Smith-Njigba, right?
Yeah, he continues to spiral upward through this process, and everybody was down on him because he wasn't able to play. But what he's done through this pre-draft process and then ran what he ran at the Ohio State Pro Day, I can very easily see him potentially being the first receiver off the board. He's probably the most pro ready just because of his ability to run routes, his savvy, knows how to get open. He's not going to be a legitimate vertical threat like maybe Johnston will be, but he can get open because he uses double moves to set up DBs. He's just got a natural feel for the position and excellent hands. And so I think this kid has if you want a for sure thing, then you're probably going to take him. If you want a guy that you want to bet on to come that has a higher upside and a potential big play receiver down the field, then you're going to go with Johnston. But I know both of those conversations will be going on in draft rooms.
All right, Rick, I'll ask you this, and I'll ask Josh the same question. Rank the wide receivers that you want on your team starting day one, and unfairly, 2 of these guys have already played in the league, but Olave, Garrett Wilson, or Jaxon Smith-Njigba?
Probably Garrett Wilson.
And then who?
Then probably this kid, and then Olave.
Ooh, all right, Josh, what do you got?
This is strictly based on them coming out of college, right?
Yeah, if you can do that.
Yeah, I'll actually same order as Rick. I'll go Garrett Wilson, Smith-Njigba, and then Olave.
Jeez. Well, joke's on you because I'm taking Marvin Harrison Jr., so I win.
Do you think there was watching Jaxon Smith-Njigba out there running those routes for C.J. Stroud? Do you think it hurt him a little bit having Marvin Harrison Jr. out there as well? It felt like a lot of eyes were being drawn in that direction.
What do you think, Rick? I didn't get that sense. I think people were just
Josh, you were back in the corner with the parents and everybody.
That's true. I may not have been able to see.
Me and Ryan were able to, since Ryan came through me, we were able to get right out there and be right on top of these guys and to really get in the evaluation. Yeah, everybody's going to, because that kid is Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably going to be a top 5 pick and maybe the first player off the board that is a non-quarterback next year.
Wow.
So, that's unfair to say that, but everybody still wants to make sure they have the right evaluation on Smith-Njigba. You can't, like Ryan, for example, when he gets his pay raise here at CBS for this podcast, he can start thinking about he's driving his 1975 Bronco right now, but he's thinking about that Ferrari that he's going to be able to afford next year.
Wait a second. What pay raise am I getting where I'm getting a Ferrari?
Debo told me they got a little something special for you.
All right. I look forward to that. But that's actually an interesting question, Josh, and not one that I thought about because I was just relieved to see Jaxon Smith-Njigba out there going through routes and the fact that he ran the 4.5 range, 4.48, whatever it was. And I think probably teams felt similarly that, okay, we can check that box and don't have to worry about him anymore. Because like I said to Rick, if he ran a 4.6, then we got to have a conversation about what that means, and you don't have to worry about it. So